Hello, friend. Welcome back to Couch Tales, Why We Do What We Do, the podcast where we dive into the funny and sometimes not so funny psychology of what makes us tick. Just a reminder, this is for fun and information only and not professional advice. So today's story, Camille's cringe-worthy moment. So my friend Camille calls me the other day, completely horrified. She had been dating this new guy, things were going great, and then, during a, let's say, very private moment, he whispers a name that is not hers, his ex-wife's name. Immediate vibe shift. Camille is mortified. He is mortified. The moment is ruined. Now, obviously this raises a few questions. Number one, is he still in love with his ex? Number two, is Camille just a replacement in his mind? And number three, should she just storm out? Before she could spiral completely, I told her, wait a minute, there's actually a scientific reason that this happens. Think of your brain like a giant messy filing cabinet. It doesn't store names in perfect alphabetical order, it stores them in categories. So instead of keeping Camille and ex-wife in completely separate folders, his brain has them in the same category. Probably something like romantic partners or important women in my life. When he was in a heightened emotional state, his brain grabbed a name from that folder. But oops, it was the wrong one. Yikes! Psychologists call this semantic categorization, and it's why, number one, parents accidentally call their kids by the dog's name. Number two, teachers mix up student names all the time. And number three, you might call your boss mom on accident. Instant regret. It's not necessarily about feelings, it's about memory storage and retrieval errors. Because heightened emotions make the brain work faster, but not always more accurately. When we're excited, nervous, or distracted, our brains shortcut through information. The faster it tries to grab a name, the more likely it is to pull the wrong one. Imagine your brain is a DJ trying to pick the perfect song. But instead of playing your request, it accidentally plays an old hit from 5 years ago. Some would say that it's a Freudian slip, and sometimes maybe that's true. If someone is constantly bringing up their ex, that's a red flag. But most of the time, name slips aren't about repressed desires, they're just about how memory works. Back in the day, remembering who was in your tribe was crucial for survival. Your brain didn't need to remember names perfectly, it just needed to remember the group. So our ancestors' brains weren't wired to recall names with perfect act, just to quickly pull the right category when needed. Fast forward to today, and our brains still work the same way. The names might have changed, but the mental shortcuts haven't. That's why in an emotional moment, your brain might just autofill the wrong name. Unfortunately, that explanation doesn't make Camille feel any better. What this means for Camille and you. So go back to Camille's question, should she be worried? Not necessarily. If this happened once, it was probably just a memory slip, not a sign of unresolved feelings. However, if someone is constantly bringing up their ex, comparing you to them, that's a whole other issue. Trust your gut. And if it happens to you one day, best to just laugh it off and move on before the moment is completely ruined. So, why do we do what we do? At the end of the day, our brains are wired to take shortcuts. They mix things up and sometimes they humiliate us at the worst possible moments. But name slips? They're just glitches in the brain's filing system. And hey, at least Camille's boyfriend didn't call her by his mom's name. That would have been worse. All right, that's it for today's episode of Couch Tales, Why We Do What We Do. If you like this episode, please subscribe and share it with a friend. Or better yet, send it to someone who definitely needs to hear this right now. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and if you ever say the wrong name at the wrong moment, just pretend you sneezed.